Totally, there are three types of college application form. One is called Common App. Right now, it's like more than 700 colleges using it. So that means you fill up one form, and for each college, you just made a small change, and you can click and submit. So that makes your life much easier. Starting from a couple years ago, we have another website called Collation Network. So that's another similar website like many schools used, and you also fill up the form and plus a little bit adjust for each school, and you can submit. And the third type is individual website. So even we have a couple hundred schools using the Common App and the Collation, there are still schools, they set up application by themselves. Okay, they are not accepting any Common App or any Collation application form. They want you to fill up their own application. It's time consuming, requires lots of work. Like MIT, they have their own website, and some public school, they just want to save money on using those Common App because they need to pay for it. So they say, okay, I will host my own website. You need to fill out everything. So if you happen to apply for those college, you have to be ready. You have to, like, lots of work you have to repeat again and again, like name, address, everything, okay? So before you start to apply, right now for 2019 student, most of your students have a list of school already. Okay, you come up this list together with your parent and your guidance counselor. So you probably have like 12 to 15 or even 20 schools. So you start to look at them, okay? Look at, check them, say which one I can use Common App. Okay, the best one I will recommend is use Common App. Even they have a Collation, like lots of schools say you can either use Common App, Collation, or my individual website. But Common App is the best for Brown Science students because our guidance office connect Navians with Common App. So it's easier for them to upload your school report, your profile, and your recommendation letter, and the school transcript. All official, okay? It's make your counselor job easier, and also it's safer. So you don't want like you applying for one school and you still ask a counselor to make sure she is doing her part to make sure everything submit. The best option is, okay? Common App, there's a limitation, like a number of schools. Basically, they give you 20 slots. You can apply 20 schools, up to 20 schools. For most of the students, it's far more than enough. Okay, our guidance counselor require you to apply, like plan your school list, like 3 dream school, we call it rich school, and 6 target school. Like a target school is medium level, so most likely you will get in, okay? Then 3 safety school. So 12 will be enough for our school student. But right now, the current trend is every year, students applying more and more school. If you ask around, if you ask the students who graduate the previous year, they may apply for 15 or 20, because right now people just are not sure, become more anxious. Like every year the admission rate is dropping because more people apply for more school, okay, and more applicants too. So some people will start apply more, and for students who would like to consider like pharmacies program, dental program, and medical program, because they are trying to apply very selective programs, they probably need to apply 8 to 12 like a BSMD program as a very hard to get in. They cannot guarantee they can get in. So that on top of that, they probably applied another like 10 colleges for bio major or for chemistry major, so that they can, in case they cannot get in BSND program or pharmacy program, dental program, they can get in the regular school. So for those students, you probably need more than 20 because you have 2 categories, okay? So in this case, you have to plan ahead. Oh, which college I can use ComApp, which college I can use collation, and which college I have to use their individual. But try to minimize your workload. Okay, ComApp, like I use ComApp as an example because collation has similar setup, very similar. Okay, the first thing is your legal name. Okay, I will say lots of Chinese students have their English name. But the English name, if the English name is not part of your legal name, don't use that in your application. Okay, you have to use the exact name shown on your school official document because it cannot match your English name with your transcript and SAT report. Birthday, remember put down the right year. Okay, lots of students put down 2018 in their birthday. Okay, because that's the day they just confused. And the location. Okay, the location is especially your nation, like country, right? It's a drop-down list. And some students just, the mouse become funny and they just pick out whatever country show up on the top. It could be Argentina or anywhere besides US. So make sure you don't make those silly mistakes. Okay, demographic information. Okay, right now even they are not happy about that. The college still asks you to fill out what race you are, okay? It's optional. I will tell you, it's completely optional. Like they cannot force you to give them those information. And like last year, we found the MIT application. They didn't say it's optional. Most case in ComApp, they will say, okay, it's fine. You don't offer this information. It totally depends on you. But MIT didn't say that. It gives you an impression you have to fill that. But if you skip this part, they still let your application go through. So remember, because this part of the information is right now it's used being against us, Asian students. You are not obligated to tell them you are Asian student, you are Asian people. In any way, they are knowing because in the later part, there are some mandatory information you have to fill out, like your parents' birthplace, okay? Your parents' name, our last name. They are going to know it anyway, but I would select to skip this part because personally, I don't like this part of information. It should not impact our admission just because of our race. Okay, citizenship. If you are not US citizen, you have to prepare an electrical copy of your green card, and they are going to ask you to upload it. And you need to provide your social security number. And this information is very important. I will mention that later on. And when you try to contact college admission office just because to correct something in your application form or to update your information, you need to provide detailed information. Your name is not enough because there could be like 50 Kevin Zhang applying to that college. How do they know you are the right one, right? So you have to provide your name, your birthday, your social security number in every email your contacts in so that they can match your update to the right profile. Okay, ComApp application fee waiver. For the students who are qualified for free and reduced school lunch, and most likely you can take SAT, AP test, ACT test for free. You get a fee waiver. And if that applies to you, then you are qualified to submit some college without paying the application fee. For this information, you have to contact your counselor ahead of time to make sure she help you to finish paperwork. And last year we have the situation, like the kids submit application, but there's some miscommunication between the student and the counselor. Then the counselor haven't submit right paperwork on time. That will impact your application. So be ready and talk to your counselor. Make sure your paperwork is finished so that you can use this waiver and you don't have to pay. It's quite expensive. right now probably charge you $60, $70, $80, even $100 per college. So imagine you apply 10 or 12. It's a big sum of money. It's a lot of money for your family. And if you can try to save some money. Okay. Under family, okay, you are mandatory to fill up your parents' information, their last name, where their birthplace, so that will indicate where you come from, okay? So you need to fill up the college, any college, or their education level of each your parents. Why they collect this information? Because right now, the college have some favor policy tend to the first generation of college students. If neither of your parents graduate from college, you are the first one to go to the college, or first generation to go to the college. So when they consider admission, they will tend to encourage you to go to college. So if you are the situation, and make sure you fill up the right information, okay? And this information also shows hint whether, like, lots of students in Brown Science and lots of students in New York City, they are joined research program when they are in high school. And many of them use their personal connection to find a mentor, okay? So when they ask for your parents' information, for example, they are asked which college your parents graduate. They can see if your father is a medical doctor, if you're doing a medical related research, the school may know that your opportunity comes from your personal connection, okay? And some school even ask, okay, I will tell you, even ask how you get research opportunity in their actual application material, okay? They prefer you get opportunities by your own effort. They prefer, I would say, because if your father is a medical doctor and you're doing biomedical research in the same hospital your parents work on, they don't know what part, like whether it is you who did work or your parents did work. So schools are pay special attention to that because they know lots of people manipulate against the system. So for the student who has like family connection, it's good. It have the resource, but it also is a disadvantage when they fill up the application form. Okay. So basically, that's the information you need to pay attention. Grades. Our school has no ranking, no weighted, okay? You have to fill up. And they ask you what rank in your school. And some school put numbers like the first, second, some school do that. We don't, okay? We don't even weighted GPA. That means if you take honor, AP, or post-AP, your GPA is calculated, planned. So many good high school doing that because the GPA provided by school, the college doesn't look at it directly. Yeah, they start to look at your transcript instead of only the number of the GPA, because each school has a different way to calculate the GPA. In our school, we don't count PE, right? Physical education. The GPA is not including that part. And we do include art class, music class, but some, like if you fill up California, University of California application, they ask you to remove it when you do the report. And for Cornell, like for many other schools, like a different college has a different requirement on GPA. They will recalculate your GPA. For example, in engineering school, they probably only focus on your grades on math and science. And if you are applying for the art and like liberal arts and science college, they probably calculate both humanity class and plus math and science. It all depends. So there are some misunderstanding on GPA at our school among the student body. And one is focus too much on the number. They really care about the 2 digits after the like 99.99. That's not the number you need to take care. In order to get that, they probably take the easiest class, which is not good for them. Okay, the college I went to our information session hosted by Phi College just like a couple of months ago. It's Vanderbilt, I believe. It's Washington U, Emory. They're very nice college. And what they explain, they say that they look at the transcript directly. They want to make sure you are taking the toughest course the school offer, and plus you get a good grade. So if you try to get a decent GPA by just taking the regular region class, that doesn't work. Because they will get a conclusion that first, you are not trying to challenge yourself. Okay, you're just trying to game the system. They're probably not very motivated, not passionate on learning. The second is some students think senior year GPA doesn't matter. Yet for most of the students, when we submit early decision applications, and all they can see is your grades up to the end of junior year. That's true. But still, the application asks you to fill up what course you are taking in your senior year, okay? If you take 5 APs or 4 APs in your junior years, and you think, okay, right now senior year is time for me to relax. Okay, I only take 1 AP, and I can relax right now. That's too early, okay? Especially in our school, why we don't encourage a student to take music and arts and health, those 3 courses in senior year, because our guidance counselor doesn't want the college to think you start to slow down, relax, because the only motivation for your study is for college. Because the college want to see you still be successful in college. And if your motivation of study is only for college, after you get in, what will happen? You may skip the class, playing computer games 24 hours a day, and that's not what they want, okay? They want you to keep the good trend. So my suggestion is keep same workload, at least same workload as a junior year. If you take 3 APs in junior year, take 3 or 4 in senior years. So keep trend. Also, you need to work very hard on at least for the first semester of senior, because your mid-year report is going to send to the college in February. Okay, even you are accepted before that. Early decision, early action. Remember, all these offers are conditional. I mean conditional, that means if your grades drop dramatically, the school can take away your acceptance letter. Your acceptance letter is not guaranteed. Okay, some students, their grade dropped dramatically in the 2nd semester. That's what happened to them. Okay, they will receive warning letter from the admission office. They will say, if you cannot keep your grade up, we have to take your acceptance letter away. That's very bad, because at that time you believe you have been accepted already. You especially early decision, you cannot apply to other school. That means if the school give you up, you have nowhere to go. So I will remind everyone, it's not a game. So, and also some students say the senior year's grades is not important, so I can take whatever looks great on transcript. I take 6 AP, 7 AP, but try not to do that, because if you overload yourself, you probably cannot keep your GPA in a decent shape. That's very dangerous too. So just balance your work, because in senior year, you are taking, like, you probably have a leadership position. You have lots of responsibility. And many of your extracurricular, you probably enter the final stage, like going to the competition, you need to write a paper, you need to submit your research to the journals, and there's lots of work. On top of that, you need to take care of college education. College education is a full-time job. It's a huge workload. So you have to consider all of them together. It's not purely it's like, I look great, and if, okay, you plan to take, when you fill out the application, the school give you the course like AP Calculus BC, and later on you struggle on that course. You have to switch from job BC going to the AB. If that happens, what should you do? You need to give a very reasonable explanation to school why you switch, because they don't want you to put a nice course and end up you drop all of them later on. So be careful. Course of senior years, I would say the honors, okay? Next, we are talking about honors. They give you a space to fill up top 5 honors you have received during high school year, only during high school year, okay? If you have the national award in your middle school, doesn't count. So when is your start, beginning of your high school? The summer before your 9th grade, that will count. If you have any competition rewards starting from the summer right before your freshman year, that is belonging to your high school period. Okay, before that, any award doesn't count. Okay, only high school. So when you fill up the honor, okay, because the admission officers start to review your application from the top to the end, okay, try to put your most important awards as the first. Always like that. The order is very important. If you start from school level awards, they will say, okay, that's probably your best one. They probably don't have time to go through all 5. Start with the top one. So usually start with international level. Okay, if you have some international competition, put the international. National, later on. Okay, there are only 4 levels. International, national, regions. Regions, that means any competition you're at the state level, city level, or the county level, okay? That belongs to. And New York City Science Engineering Fair is a state level competition, okay? Because New York City is such a special place. We have lots of high school. So this competition is at state level, okay? And a school award, you can put it in. National Honor Society, okay? It's with the name of national, but it's a school level award, okay? So it don't put as national over there. So make sure you have the right order. The description of each honor has a very limited space. I believe it's like around 150 characters, not words. So you have to be very careful on how you describe the award. Okay, what did you did, and what kind of award you get, and what does it mean? Okay, sometimes you need to use the number, I would say abbreviation, to fully use those space. It's very limited. I don't know what requirement of the new forms, because every year on August 1st, new forms come. All I talk here is about the forms of last year. Every year their forms have a little bit update, and probably with new feature. This year's new feature I don't know yet, but that's what they had for last year. Okay. Okay, they will ask you whether you have used community-based organization service on college admission support. Okay, many of you probably, because you have very good SAT score, and they know that you're coming from low-income family or other special case, right? You probably receive many contacts from like maybe college ball or from some organization, charity organization. They will say provide you free college like support. They will probably going through like a 2 years program with you, or a couple months some workshop to help you and prepare college application. If you use that service, put it on. That college knows that you belongs to the minority or belongs to the low income family, and they will pay special attention to you. So that's good. If you use that service, put it on. Okay, future plan. They ask you to fill out a future plan. That means what kind of job you would like to consider in the future, okay? Some students, they are very sure what they are going to do in the future. And they know that's the only major they are going to apply. And many students, like in Brown Science, they would like to do some computer science related job. Okay, they can fill up the job like their future plan as I want to be a computer engineer in the future. If that's the only major you're applying for all the school, you don't have to worry about it. Just put it in and you submit application without taking another look at it. You don't have to worry. But for other students, they may have a different idea for different school. Maybe for NYU, I want to study business because the Stern Business School is top. And from Johns Hopkins, I would like to study BME because that's the top program I want to study. So in that case, when you submit your college application, try to make sure your future plan match to the major or to the college you apply. Okay, so don't mess up them together. Then you fill up the business CEO, like business area, a job is my future plan, but you apply for BME or some other thing mess up. You know, you need to double check when you submit the application. Okay, testing. Okay, let's talk about testing. ComApp gives you a space to self-report all your standardized tests. I mean self-report. When you apply for college, you need to check their policy on the testing. Some schools are very nice. Okay, they say you don't have to submit official test grades to me. You just use a ComApp to self-report your grade. And once we accept you, it's the time you submit all official score. Otherwise, you can save lots of money on the submitting, because when you submit the SAT or ACT score to school, you need to pay a certain fee. That will save you money. So you need to look at it, whether you need to send official score right now. You probably don't need to. I mean, they were saying, please list the score you wish to report. You wish to report. That means if you are not happy with one of your SAT tests or ACT tests, you don't have to report, or one AP test, okay? If you take 3 SAT and you are happy with the last one, just put on the last one. And if you get AP test and the score lower than 3, you don't have to report. But that doesn't mean the school can ignore the details, because your transcript shows that you take AP. And if you take the AP test for other subjects but not this subject, they probably know what's going on. So I would suggest if you have the 3 and up, report it. Because if you don't put it on, they probably say, okay, you got 1 or 2. For most of the school, most like selective school, they probably accept 4 and 5. And the 3 is passed. If you get a 3 on AP Physics C, that's fine, report it. So 3 is something not very good, but still okay. It's a pass. And 1 out of 2, if you have 1 or 2, don't report it. You don't have to. But they probably know you get 1 or 2. Okay? And if you don't have your scores ready yet, and you want to catch up with your early decision, early action deadline, which is November 1st, you can use the service called Rush Delivery. Okay? You pay the extra fee, and the College Board or ACT will deliver your score in a quicker way, in a couple of days. And sometimes you have to use the score delivery service when you take the test in September and October. So because you have the option to send the score like for up to 4 or 5 colleges, I don't remember, and free of charge, okay? So that will directly send the score to the college. And that that's the same when you take the test in November and December, and you try to catch up the regularization deadline, okay? Okay, let's talk about SAT subjects. Not all the school, like there are some like lots of discussion, okay? Many schools announced news recently, they are not going to regard SAT or ACT test as their application, condition for application. I will say that there's a huge difference, okay? The bar of your applicant and the bar being accepted is totally different, okay? I can let everyone say, okay, you don't need the SAT test score to apply for our college. But I didn't say that you don't need the SAT test in order to get into my college. Did they say that? No. Why they do that? Okay, there are a couple reasons behind it. First, if they let you know you don't need the ACT or SAT test, many students with lower score, initially they probably don't want to apply for this college. Right now they say, okay, maybe I can get a chance, I can apply. So my application pool getting large, okay? And I still have the same number of every year freshman number students. So my admission rate will be dropped down. That will push my rank, US News rank ahead. That's what I want to, okay? Want to have. The second is, if you announced you don't need SAT test score to get in, to apply for my college, who will report your SAT score? The one who is doing the best, right? If you are happy with your SAT, you are going to report. If you're not, you're not going to report. So when I try to, because another item in calculated ranking is the average SAT score. So my average SAT score of the admit student will be up. That will further push my ranking ahead. That's what I'm looking for. The third is there's a lawsuit, okay? And because there's a lawsuit saying Asian students have to get like a couple hundred points higher in order to get into the same college. If I say, okay, remove that criteria, there's no way for you to sue me. So if you think you don't need a decent score to get in a good college right now, that's very, very wrong. Because right now we have more than ever applicants per college. And they don't have enough resource to review application one by one, okay? They use a certain way to pre-screen applications, and the hard data is one of them. Most of the schools will say, okay, we never have the cutoff scored for SAT. That's what they say. And later on, I will share you with the most current news from some college. Okay, and some school had a mandatory, okay, when you send a report from SAT, they will ask you to send all the score. It's called score choice, okay? If you allowed you to give you score choice, that means you can pick the best one to send to them. If they don't give you the score choice, that means you have to send all SAT 1 or all ACT test, not SAT subject test, but SAT 1. Yeah, if you take 3 times, you have to send all of them. When you submit scores from College Board, you will know that. And a super score. Super score, that means some schools have a policy called super score. It's like they combined your different sitting of the test, the best score for each section, and combine them together to be your total score. So that's their policy. So school choice is your responsibility, and super score is their responsibility. So, and the subject test, okay. If you have a very good subject test, send them no matter what. Why? Because lots of colleges use the SAT subject test as their replacement test. Okay, especially foreign language. They say if you submit like math, even they don't ask you for as a condition or as a requirement for application, but they still regard it as a placement test. If you scored beyond like 700 or 740, they probably place you at the advanced class when you get in. And if you didn't get a very good score in your GPA on certain subject, but you happen to have a very nice SAT subject test score, send it, because it's a holistic review. So give them more data. Just like maybe I didn't get a score very nice at school, but I did do this subject very well. Give them another chance to show you. Okay? And that's what I'm talking about. Minimum requirement is not optional requirement. Like if lots of schools removed minimum, like say they put minimum requirement very low, and they all say that SAT is optional, SAT subject is optional, and this is optional. But if they say it's optional, if you have it, present it, because it's a competition. Okay? Try to boost your chance. Activities. You have a chance to list in Common App, to list 10 activities in Common App, probably 8 in collation. They're different, okay? Same thing. You start with your most important one. They give you the feature to adjust the order. You can fill up from number 1 to number 10 activities. You can adjust the order. There are some error you can adjust. And you can switch order from different college if you apply for different major. Okay, if for this school, like for NYU Stern, probably the most important activities is my activity in some business-related competition or club. Okay, from Johns Hopkins, if I'm applying for BME, the most important activities probably is one I'm done in a research lab, biomedical research, or hospital volunteers. So you can switch the order for different majors. That's another way you need to check for each school. But if you just applied one major for all school, you can keep the same order. Always start with the most important one, okay? The college, like admission office, usually only have 15 to 20 minutes to review all your application materials. And one college I visited, they tell me that sometimes they read up to 36 documents. That include your transcript, school profile, your standardized test, each copied, and recommendation letter. So they have very limited time to review it. Probably they start to look at the top 3. If they are interesting, they probably move on. If not, probably they give up. So don't put the most important one at the end. Put it at the beginning. And also 150 characters limit. You are asked to indicate your leadership position and how many years you are involved into the activities, how many weeks in a year, how many hours in per week. Okay, so that gives very detail. Okay, try to use number and abbreviation and focus on impact. Okay. Impact is all you want to emphasize. If you are captain of a swimming team, okay, what kind of improvement did you bring into the team? Have you like if you are a captain or if you're vice president, in a certain club, have you ever double-sized the club, get more people get in? Have you raised more fund for the club? What kind of reform did you bring? Okay, if you coach some young kids in certain camps, how many kids you coach? 150, 200 in 8 weeks. I need a number, okay? If you just say, I coach young kids, yeah, you coach 1 kid and you coach 200 kids, a huge difference. Put number, okay? That's the most straightforward way to indicate your impact. How many patients have you helped during your volunteer hours? I want numbers, okay? So use any way to indicate impact. If you cannot give me the number, I cannot tell what kind of impact did you bring to your club, your community, your family, okay? If you work at your restaurant, your parents' restaurant, how many hours did you work? Okay, how many like customer did you deal with, support? If you're selling something, like how much money did you earn? I want details. Many students didn't use that space efficiently. They have very good background, and they don't know how to demonstrate. That's the best way. So that's the most important part in this workshop. I want everyone to remember it. So also make sure your counselor knows all of these activities. Okay, this activity is self-report. I would say admission office don't believe all this information fill up, because you can fill up anything you want. Okay, if you're not working for a club, you can say, some people can say that, some claim that. So there's no people can guarantee it's 100% true. So who can guarantee it? Your counselor, okay? The activity which is not shown in your recommendation letter don't count. So you have to make sure you have very good communication between you and your counselor. Your questionnaire, okay, your resume will help your counselor know all about you. Everything you have done after school, in the school, club, actual activities, your family responsibility, your family hardship, everything she needs to know. And she can put in your recommendation letter. And it's her job to verify, because she's going to verify the hours, your volunteer hours, if you have some award and certificate, you finish some training program, bring those certificates, soft copy or hard copy, to your counselor so that she has a fully understanding of what you have went through. So that's very important. So if you only list the activity here and it's not reflected in your recommendation letter, probably it doesn't count, okay? Because people can say whatever they want. And be honest on the number. How many hours you spend? You know, one college admission office come to our school to do the information session. They noticed that some students report wrong hours, just try to have to get them in. So when they calculate, it's over 24 hours a day for extracurricular, because there's no way to fulfill so many, report. So be honest, give the best estimate you can get. And you don't have to fill up 10, okay? Some students get panicked. 10 activities, I don't have that many activities. How can I fill up? Don't think the number of activities will boost you up, okay? They pay more attention on the quality. If you focus very well on 1 to 2 academic activity and 1 to 2 non-academic activity, I would say that's pretty enough already. And MIT, they don't give you 10 slots. They give you 5, because they know if you do more than 5, the items after 5 probably least important. If you can list the top 5, that would be great. I want you to give them the impression, say, you really have some solid experience on extracurricular. And also, try to combine them if they belong to the same type of activity. For example, if you play tennis at school and you also play tennis out of school, don't separate them, okay? Put them together and try to fully use 150 words to describe it. That's what I did. In school and out of school, count them together. So that become a more solid item in your activity list. If you're doing volunteer work in a medical area, you can put them together, volunteer at medical clinics and hospital, then put hour together. So it becomes a big chunk of your activity, not separated. It's one big one is better than a couple smaller items, because you give them the strong impression, oh yeah, that's what this child likes to do. That's what he has passion over. Okay. Common app application essay, okay. Coalition doesn't, like last year, they didn't give you a common essay, okay. The school give you a different one, but it's very close to common essay. Last workshop, we went through all topics, right. At the end of the workshop, some student asked me, is it okay to have different version of common app essay? Yes, and some people do that. Especially for the student who apply to different college on different major. They try to emphasize different aspects. So they have like 3 or 4 versions of common app, different story. They tailor the different story. Maybe this story is perfect for me to apply business. And this essay is perfect for me to apply for pre-med. That's fine, but that requires lots of work, okay? I would say the common app essay is the place to indicate your personality and character. You don't have to bring lots of background or story regarding to your major. But for some school, they don't even give you a chance to write a supplemental essay. So it's better to put some story related to your major here, okay? I would say it's good to prepare like 2 to 3 stories because you are going to use them anyway. And because you can use this part of story for your supplemental essay. Lots of schools have the similar essay topic, so you can reuse some of them, okay? At the end of the application, common part for application, you are asked to fill up some additional information. The word limit is again 650 words, okay? You probably go to some workshop and they say, okay, it's good to put another essay. It is totally wrong, okay? Remember, your admission office only have 15 or 20 minutes to review the whole package. And if you put too many into it, they don't have time to review. So what's this additional information for? If it's not for extra essay, it's not the place for your resume, okay? So I have to tell like how they reviewed application, okay? Most of school, I would say selective school, they hire contract every season. Application season, they hire contract. They call them first reader. So it's their job to read application and mark everything they think is suspicious in your application. They call it red flag, okay? If you start freshman with math team and you dropped, why? Can you give me one solid explanation on it? Okay. If you did really poorly on one subject in your junior year, what's your reason? That's where they are circled. So when you look at your application, make sure your everything is consistent, okay? Consistent means you don't give them wrong information, like one information to this direction, the other one. If you drop some club, because school doesn't appreciate a student to switch from one club to another. But it's still okay if you're looking for your true passion. So you can explain that. The reason I dropped masking after first year, because I don't like the competition. I don't like to solve the problem on paper. I would like to solve the problem in a real life. So that's the reason I drop it and switch to a research program. That's fine. Whenever you drop something, you have to pick another thing and give the strong reason. If there is some special reason you did poorly on AP test, on that day I happen to be sick, that's where you need to put it. So that's the way you have to look at your application from the beginning to the end in the eyes as an admission office. Okay, try to look at the reason they reject you. That's how they do. Okay, when you submit an application, they are not going to look at the application. Wow, this application is so wonderful, I have to accept this student. No, the first round, they pick up spot and try to find a reason to reject you because there are so many applicants. So look at it in an eye in where I should give some explanation to support it. If you have special reason, you did poorly in certain years or certain semester, certain subject, let your counselor know, okay? And so that she can document it into the recommendation letter. You should be consistent. So that's where you need to put. And some school give you the chance to demonstrate your talent in music and arts, but some don't. In that case, I would prefer you to upload your video, like short, not very long one, music video, your artwork, portfolio into YouTube, and insert link into that part, so that if they would like, they can look at it. So that's where you like, sometimes they ask you to post research abstract, like 100 words or 200 words into the additional information. If they don't give you a space in application portal or other website to upload your full paper, full abstract, you can post on it in that part, okay? So basically that's what is a very important field, and very few students use it properly. So that's where you can look at it to support your, like give explanation to let them know better about you. And the extra part is called self-reported school grades. It's optional. And some schools say, I cannot wait your school to upload your transcript from Navians. I want to take a look at it when I review your score. It's not official, it's self-reported, and they will start from freshman. And our school right now is like 2 grades per year, right? 1 grade for each semester. And starting from next year, and the New York City Department of Education, they changed policy. So it will be 1 year, 1 score per year, or just 1 final grade. So right now you have to fill up per semester. And when you fill it up, you try to make sure you report it correctly, okay? And I don't want you to make a mistake, say, okay, I got 85 and I put it 95, and that your admission will be taken away just because you made a mistake. They probably say you just report a wrong number. So just double check the all number you input. Okay, school part. Okay, every school have a separate part. Separate part, they ask you to go through a couple simple questions, combined together with the common part, you submit. Okay, usually they ask you to select admission plan. We have early action, and the early action has a regular early action and a single choice or restrict early action. Okay, what's the difference? Early action is you apply early, at the beginning of November, you are accepted early during Christmas time. And if you accept it, you have right not to go. Okay, single choice early action, Harvard, Yale, Stanford, and Princeton, and a couple more college like Georgetown. They probably ask you, you can early action me, that means if you're accepted, you have right not to come. But I don't want your early decision as a school together with early action. I'm the one who you early action, like the only one you early action privately or private school. And we understand that you maybe have some financial consideration. You want to early action as a public school. That's fine. That's what they look for. Okay, you cannot early decision as a school. You can early decision me, and you can early action me and early action other public school. That's called restrict. Early decision. Right now we have two, like early decision before November 1st, and early decision 2. Early decision, some school offer early decision 2. Same day deadline of the regular. Just once you're accepted, you have to come. Okay, so regular decision, you apply by the beginning of the new year, or some public school, they have very late deadline in middle of February, even in April. Okay. So they are going to announce by the end of most of school are announced and at the beginning of April or even before that, and some school announced later on. Some school are called rolling. Like public school always have some rolling plan. That means the earlier you submit application, the earlier they give you the decision. It takes 4 to 8 weeks. If you submit in September, they will let you know in like by Christmas Day. So you are going to do that. And so you have to be very careful for the admission plan. Okay, for the student who are looking for a better financial aid package, our school encourages to use early action as much as possible, because in that case you have the chance to compare different package from different school. At the end, you probably have the multiple offers. You can compare them together, like compare and pick the right one. Or you can use one offer to bargain your dream school. Like this school give me this much financial aid. Can you match their offer? Some school do. Okay, so that's why you can get the best deal. But it's kind of risky, because usually early action, early decision have a better chance. I would say better chance is because the school knows that you have stronger interest, because they need you, this plan needs you to prepare ahead of time. But for the student who didn't perform that well for first 3 years in high school, regular decision is the one for them. I would say some students just miss opportunities to do very well at the school. Like they start saying, okay, I'm starting from my senior year, I will take lots of AP, and I want to try to keep my GPA up. And for them, regular decision is better. Why? Because if you submit application before November 1st, at that time, all they can see is your grades up to the junior year. If the junior year and sophomore year and freshman years, your grade doesn't look that good, you may get rejected completely. Okay, once you get rejected, early decision, early action, you have no right to apply again. Especially for Stanford. Stanford College is like that. They don't defer a lot. They just either give you accept or reject. So many students may probably get better chance to be accepted later on. If you submit application too early, they will say, okay, we rejected completely. So you will never get a chance to apply. So it depends. Early decision get a better chance, and because many schools put lots spot in early decision. Some schools put even around half the spot in early decision. And early decision, because only one choice, you can early decision only one. Okay, once you get it, you have to go. And the admission office at that time, and they have more time to review each case. Okay, for regular, many people apply, okay? They don't even have enough time to review all of them. So you will see lots of complaints last year, say, okay, early decision, early action result looks reasonable, but once you reach regular, and some excellent kids cannot go into the school. Lots of complaints, you will see that, because they don't have time. So for early decision, there's a contract you need to sign. The contract includes 4 parties. You, as a student, your parents have an open account for a common app to sign the contract, so that I know my child designed to early decision your school. Once we accept it, I need to pay for the tuition fee to let him go, okay? And the third one is your counselor. So your counselor knows that you are at the early decision this school. So she is not going to let you early decision another, and the college itself. Okay, so it's a 4-party contract. The only reason you can break that contract is the school give you a financial package. It's how do I say? It's something you cannot afford. That means your family finance situation changed dramatically. When you apply for college, early decision, your father still had a job, and after you get offer, he lost his job, or some family member got serious sick. You need a large spending. It's something you cannot change, and it's something the school cannot change either. But most case, if your family finance has dramatically changed, lots of schools will change their financial aid package too, to give you more money to let you come. So it's really rare condition you break the contract. Don't ever think about that. It's really bad for Brown Science. If you break this contract, and the next year, the school probably will not recruit students from our school. So our previous year, our school students have been attend those schools faithfully. I want you to keep the same tradition. It's very important. And once you're accepted by early decision school, our counselor will not send recommendation letter, transcript, anything to any other school. Okay, there's no chance for you. You accept it, you stop it, you move ahead. You have to remove all the list from Naviance. The school will remove it, okay? They only deliver your mid-year report to the school accept you. Even you submit application to all other schools in regular decision. Okay, you may be early decision Cornell successfully, and you will say, I want to try Princeton. No way. Because the school will not send recommendation to them. They're not going to send a transcript, a mid-year report. So they are not going to see it. And you have to select your terms. Lots of schools offer 2 terms, fall and spring, okay? If you feel very tired of staying in Brown Science for 4 years, you need a break, that's reasonable, okay? You can take a break, you can get into the school in spring, or you can even take a gap year. Many students doing that because I don't want you to burn out. You can take a rest and do something interesting and think about it, what you really like to do. So that's fine. And you sometimes school have multiple campus, you need to pick one, okay? And lots of school, huge schools, they have different college. And you have to pay attention whether it's okay for you to transfer from one college to another. Most schools allow you to do that, but some schools don't, especially public school. They want you to fix. If you want to get in business school, stay in business school. And for those hot majors, hot program, hot colleges, you'd better get in right now. It's very hard to transfer later on. And it's so popular, and like BME made a program at Johns Hopkins. They say if you are not sure you are going to get in BME, but you really have a little bit think that I might get in this program in the future, apply right now. Otherwise, when you get in Johns Hopkins, you are not in that program, it's very hard, it's super hard to transfer into. Same thing to the School of Computer Science at Carnegie Mellon. and like a EECS at Berkeley. Those programs are super hard to get in. Like, don't ever think like I get in some other college and transfer it. It's very rare case. Maybe occasionally 1 or 2 students can make it, but don't count on them, okay? And like UIUC, pay special attention to that. UIUC a very strict policy on transfer from one program to another. If you don't clear the major right now, they put you into a general education program. And when you select course, you have a lower priority. You never get a chance to get course you would like because so many other students love those courses. So it's very hard for you to transfer into the major or college or program you want to. Try to make sure that you can send email and ask them to check the website about their policy before you make decision, okay? They ask you to fill out family connection to the college, whether you have your siblings, your parents graduate, or relatives work or graduate from this college. So we call it legacy, alumni connection. They usually do favor to their own people, right? And that's we call the hook. So that will help. If your parents graduate from certain college, or when you're going to applying for the same college your parents did, then you have better chance. Usually it's like give them at least 25% more chance to get in. Residency. For public school, they will ask you whether you are the residents in that state because they will charge differently for in-state student and out-of-state student. So some students say maybe I move into that state and I become the residents, which is not true. Your parents need to move, and your parents need to move into that state and pay the tax so that you can become the local student. You pay the in-state college fee. And you're asked to write a couple more supplemental essays. Some of them they say it's optional, and you take it seriously. Don't think that you can skip that part and get into that college. So that's the way you can demonstrate your interest. Recommendation letter, because we are using Naviance, you picked the teacher who are going to submit on behalf of you a recommendation letter at Naviance. You don't need to do anything in app, okay? And right now I need you to pay attention. It's called FERPA. It's a Privacy Act, okay? So according to our federal law, because some people write us important document about you, it's about your fate, okay? Which college you are going to. So you have the right to look at, to read what they are going to write, what they wrote about you. Legally, you have the right, okay? But I want you to give up this right. Why? If you indicate, I don't want to give up, I would like to read this document later on, the teacher will know, okay? The college will know. That means the teacher has to write a letter because they know you are going to read the letter later on. In this case, college will think this recommendation letter not reliable because your teacher know you are going to read it. They cannot tell whatever they feel is true. So when you check your application form, make sure you give up, okay? Fill up. I claim I give up my right. I will not accept this document for the rest of my life. I don't want to know. I don't need to know what they are going to write about me. But that needs you to pick the right person to write your recommendation letter. You ask your teacher, would you like to write a recommendation letter for me? If they indicate even a little bit of hesitation, don't move, don't keep it, because they probably say something not good for you. Pick the right one. We have already have the workshop regarding recommendation letter, so I don't repeat all I have say at that time. So you can look at the YouTube video. Okay, for actual recommendation letter, okay? If you have very strong person who knows you very well at your workplace, like your lab, your research mentor, your volunteer, and they know you so much for a long time, not a couple weeks, and you're sure they're going to write a very strong recommendation letter, you can ask them to provide. Some schools give you an option. Say you can upload up to how many actual recommendation letter, so that you can use them. Okay, how do you use that? When you reached recommendation letter section for that school, okay, you can indicate who you are going to ask for. You fill up the name and email, okay. The recommender will receive a notification. You can click, you have to assign and notify him or her about this request. And they are going to receive a notification in their mailbox. They have to click the link, open an account in Common App, and upload their recommendation letter before the deadline. But some students, they say, okay, I have worked at so many places and all the people like me. They all want to write my recommendation letter. But don't do that, okay? One will be enough, because the admission office don't have enough time to read all of them. And one, you have to, the more important is you have to make sure the recommendation letter is strong enough. And the last time we have a college with us, the representative say that, and sometimes, because they only have time to read like one for counselor, 2 teachers. And sometimes they have more time to read another one, okay? And sometimes the order comes from, like, you cannot guarantee the college, the recommendation letter come into the order like from the strongest to weakness. You cannot guarantee. It all depends the recommended when they are going to finish your letter. They deliver it electronically. And if the first one happen to the weakness one, and they don't have the time to read your next one, so it's bad. Okay. So try to, like I would say, take advantage of the raves. If you have so many people support you, and ask them to write briefs for you, and ask them to send directly their comments, short comments to your counselor. So yeah, your counselor can include all of them into your counselor recommendation letter. That's even better, more efficient way to do that. And sometimes they ask you what kind of activity you want to do in the school, in the college. You can continue whatever you have done at Brown Science. Just make sure they do have those club and activity in that college. And sometimes you can start a new one. It's fine. And if you have some contacts in this college, like your friends in that school, sometimes they ask you to fill out. Who did you know in that college? Maybe your friends in that college, and they know, okay, you really know about this school, and somebody has talked a lot to you about this school, okay? And also they want to list what kind of information section. How did you know my school? You need to list information section you have gone in New York City or at the school, okay? School fair, or did you visit them personally, campus tour, information at the campus, or college fair, okay? They ask you list all of them, some school, okay? So that they can check how you should demonstrate your interest. So that's why I encourage you to start visit the school as early as possible. Register yourself on their website and check in when you visit them. Make sure you really go there, okay? They have the database to keep track. They know how many times you have visited. It's very important. Nowadays, college pays special attention whether you are going to come, if they accept you. If you never show the interest, like for example, they have the information session in New York City, and you still don't go, and how you say, I love you. No, So they really want you to demonstrate your interest, okay? If they have their unsigned information session in our school, why did you go? Why didn't you sign up? So it's very important, okay? For some schools, they offered special application for merit-based scholarship and honor program. For those programs, they probably ask you to write 1 or 2 extra essays, okay? So you have to do that and pay attention to the deadline. Sometimes those programs has an earlier deadline. And the optional essay, but you know, it depends, like some essay is related to different major. If you're applying for engineering school, write this essay. Applying for business school, write this essay. Make sure you finish. Okay, tips. So you have to plan ahead about your school list. Yeah, you talk to your, discuss the 3 levels of school with your counselor and parents. Especially about your parents, don't think they don't know anything because they are going to pay the bill, okay? I would suggest you to use their calculator, net price calculator, to calculate how much you need to going to pay for the college. Because if it's out of your family budget, you need to adjust the list because there are so many good schools. You don't have to go into some school, so it's very pricey. It's not necessary. And when you do the net price calculator, you know, all the schools try to make numbers smaller. Okay, they will say that's the number you are going to borrow for student loan, and that's the number you are going to get for work study, and that's what you pay. Remember, all these things are going to pay by yourself. Okay, they may be separated, but that's the total number you're going to pay. Because if you borrow student loan, you're going to pay them back anyway, okay? Work study is not purely guaranteed. You are going to find a job at campus. It's not guaranteed you'll find one, or even you have the time to work on work study. So if you cannot afford the work study on time, like you have very heavy workload, your family end up paying it, like a couple $1,000s. So you have to put them together. That's all you want to pay. But they try to make the number smaller, so more pure. And even they say that you probably get this kind of scholarship, merit-based scholarship. They cannot guarantee to give you. They just say you might get scholarship. Still, when you do the calculation, be careful. You need to talk to your parents about admission because you're going to sign. And you need to start very early on application preparation, okay? And right now, I usually start with wave list, recommendation, and work on the questionnaire for recommendation, and you work on the comment report, okay? Right now, suppose you reach this step, okay? And August, when the formal application comes out, you need to fill out a form, you need to work on supplemental essay. Okay. So once you start your senior year, you are very confident you're going to finish them on time with good quality. You need to make sure your future plan matched with major you apply for, okay? And double check the merit-based scholarship and honor program application deadline. Try to submit them ahead of time. And don't say, okay, I want to apply to Fulbright at Duke, and found, okay, then I passed. Okay, when you finish your application form, okay, you have an option to print a digital copy. I don't mean you need to print from paper, okay? You can print a digital copy, PDF file, before you submit. So you can double check, read from top to the end. Maybe you can ask your brother or sister to look at it, or your parents look at it. You know, a fresh pair of eyes will find out some issues. Or take another look at it. Maybe you have spelling error, you have this error or that error, number error, then can pick it up. It's very normal you have some errors, okay? Then When you finish, polish it, and you keep a final copy, digital copy. Okay, you can submit it and pay the fee. If possible, submit application a couple days before the deadline. Why? And that happened almost every year. Close to the deadline, early decision, regular decision, and the website probably crash for 8 hours or even more, because so many people wait until the last minute to submit application. Last year, that's exactly what happened to 2019 student, 18 student, okay? Right before early decision, the website started crash, probably starting from 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and come back like 3 o'clock in the morning. And everyone was almost crying because they don't know when the website will come back. And sometimes if they happen, they probably extend the deadline like 1 day or 2. But I really don't want that happen because it's quite scary. If you are ready, you submit ahead of time. Couple days, like 2 or 3 will be fine. And make sure you select right teachers for your recommendation letter. And because some school only allows you to submit 1 teacher recommendation. And usually we prepare 2. So you pick the stronger one. Okay, you check in the advance. Okay, for the student who has talent, special talent in music and arts, you have better chance to demonstrate, to get extra support with your talent. Okay, lots of schools use another website called Slide Room, and you can submit the linked Slide Room into the Common App. That's the feature in the Common App. You can open an account and submit your video, audio, and some digital, like a PDF file, like for portfolio. Submit into it. But pay attention to the size of file, okay? They have limitation, how big the size it is. And a very good, nice audio video files usually is huge. It's very big. So probably need to transfer, like a convert format, or just use the audio file instead. Like use the software, abstract your audio, like for music, abstract it and submit. Or make the video clip smaller or shorter. Okay, and the art portfolio, you can also use the Slide Room. For each application, like for every school, you probably need to pay $5, a couple dollars extra to use that website. Okay, and once you submit your application, you will receive an email from the college. They give you, not regularly they say it's an application portal. That means a special website. You will have your username, you have your password set up, your login, okay? So that's a place they are going to let you know how you upload your research paper. Some schools allow you to upload the full research paper, like 30 page, 40 page, that's fine. And some schools give you a chance to upload only the abstract of your research, like your published work. That's fine. And you can upload it. Okay. And also, if the school doesn't give you this chance, you can use the additional information section in the Common App to put the link, extra link into it. And also, there are some deadlines for supplemental material. You need to follow the deadline. Okay. Application portal, just I say, that's the place you can keep track all material. Whether the SAT score has arrived at college, okay? Whether the recommendation letter has arrived, you can make sure. If there's something happened to those material, you need to talk to your teacher or even call the college boss. What's going on my score report? When did you send? I paid money and what happened, okay? And because early decision is pretty early, okay? Many seniors will have the competition, like a regional result only comes out at the beginning of January. That's right after your regular decision application submit, okay? So that means when you submit application, you haven't got the result yet. What happened? You have list price or winning that competition, you have chance to update any status change to report them to the school. So you can either send an email or you can use the application portal. And some schools even have the pre-designed application update forms you need to fill up, okay? Some schools only give you certain times you can update your status. They don't want you to update the status like 5 times, 6 times. They cannot catch up all of the updates. They cannot review your case so frequently. They don't have time. So some schools give you like, you can update your application 3 times per semester. Okay, you can combine them together. If you have published some articles, you have some winning some competition, put all them together and submit. And also, I remind you already, whenever you contact them, include your full name, your birthday, your social security number, so that they are going to put all the updates into the right profile, student profile. If you accepted by early decision, okay, it's your job to withdraw all the application from other school because you are mandatory to go to that school. Okay. If you are accepted by some early action school, okay, usually we put like at least we put 1 safety school into our early action. If like in your school list you have 12 schools, right? And you are early action 1 school which is good, and there are some other schools is behind your this school has accept you early, okay, I would prefer you withdraw others. Why? That give your classmate more chance to go to those schools, okay? I would say as a Brown Science, we don't have obligation to say, like private school, they only allowed you to submit Ivy League, probably 2 at a time per person, so that everyone has a better chance to get in. Brown Science, we don't have this policy. We have huge school. We cannot limit it. But if you're accepted by a good school already and you don't have the financial burden, and I would encourage you to withdraw. Why? Give you other students like better chance, so that more Brown Science students can go to good school. We try to support each other in this way. But if you want to compare financial package, that's fine. That's fine. It's understandable. Okay. I will see from school counselor what they are doing for your application. First, they are going to send school profile to every college you apply for. It's a standard document. You can look at it, you can search in Naviance. Okay, in that school profile, you will indicate what program we have, what kind of achievement, like, because Brown Science is a famous high school, so the school background boosts your chance to go to the better school. You don't have to worry about it. There's another one which you probably don't know. Okay, in Common App, each counselor need to give the rating of every single student. It's not a ranking, and you are not going to see that. And they are going to send directly to the college. It's called like a personal evaluation form. They evaluate you on different aspects, probably on your academic, your leadership, your community service, your ranking from top 1%, top 5%, top 10%, above average, average, and below average. Okay, if the college rely this data to screen pre-screen the students. They probably say very selective school. They say, okay, I only admit top 1% of students from this school. I only admit top 5% of that school. That could be the criteria, okay? They are going to fill up your discipline history, okay? If you have record in your discipline, they are going to report it. You are not going to see all those data. Also, they are going to write your recommendation letter. Okay, now I want to go through quickly about your application, how your application is reviewed. There are basically two ways. It's called holistic and merit-based, okay? For lots of public schools, they don't have enough admission office to review all application in a holistic review, because there are just far more than enough application you can see it. So they have a certain GPA requirement. For example, last year, when Stony Brook had our on-site interview at a school, and the student being interviewed, they know that, okay? If you really want to get in that school, at least you should get 88 GPA. If you want to apply for engineering and computer science major, they ask for 90. And the GPA lower than that, they probably deferred application later on. They will double check your mid-year report to see whether your GPA has increased or not. So they are not going to give you the offer right away. And I will say they use a first screen based on hard data. Okay, I happened to be acceptance student event at Yale this year, and their admission officer shared most current trend in their admission policy. The first is the increased bar of the first round. Many students who used to be able to pass the first round cannot pass it this year because more applicants come, okay? And for those students who have talent on the music and arts, and in previous year, they automatically go into the second round, but this year they are not. They can only go to the second round only if their GPA standardized test and the course load matched basic requirement. So if the school tells you there's no cutoff score, no nothing, no. When you have like 6% of admission rate, what are you going to use to screen the students on the first step? Hard data. So don't try to think, okay, I can go to one college without solid data to support me, especially for Asian students. It's not the case for us. First readers, contract based, they mark red flags, okay? Anything they don't think is reasonable, they will put it on. So after first reading and the local representative, I mean, every school have a local representative in certain area, and many schools use the same person in one area so that they know your school very well. And because Brownside is a top school, high school in the whole nation. And what I heard is that some schools specifically assign one representative responsible for the specialized high school in New York City. Okay, he's going to read all the materials from specialized high school. So they know our course and they know our grades so much. They know, even without knowing what kind of ranking you have, they probably look at your transcript. They have a very good sense where you are in our school. And some school like MIT is special. They rotate their representative every year. This year, this officer responds for New York City. Next year, he probably going to California. But that means they have very object the standard when they reviewed the applicants. And when they have so many applicants, they try to put a score in every single items. For example, at Yale, they give their score for recommendation letter. Okay. If your recommendation letter is, they would like to see a recommendation letter with good comments, strong comments, and very solid evidence to back it up. That means recommendation letter have to say this student is excellent, also provide a story or example to support the statement. And they will give this kind of recommendation letter a higher grade. They grade it from 0 to 10, okay? 10 is the best. If a recommendation letter only say this student is good, but no story to support them, they only mark it as 7, okay? So if you have a recommendation letter 9 and above, you have better chance. So they will have different way to evaluate. When they have so many applicants, they will put a number. So maybe a number on your evaluation, on your activities, evaluation scores on your recommendation letter, okay? And the essay, very important. They say that they really want to see a very good essay. If your essay is very flat, admission officer say you need to double your hard data in order to get in. And next, lots of holistic review is reviewed by committee. That means it's not only one admission officer who makes decision. It's decision by a committee made up a couple of person. The person could be admission office and other staff. At Yale this year, they have 2 committees work together. Last year, in previous year, they only have 1 committee. Okay, this year, because so many people apply, they have to have 2 committees. Each committee made up 5 persons, 3 admission officers, and 1 faculty and 1 Doom advisor. Okay, so they are going to review it. They are going to vote. They put all applicants from the same school and in one section to compare them. They list the student according to their alphabetical order of their last name from top to end, reviewed one by one. And for each applicant, they are going to vote. And they can change their mind when they will never review the whole school applicants. They will say, okay, I vote for first one, and when they reach the 5th one, they say, okay, I change my mind. 5th one looks better, I give up first one, okay. So they are going to vote. So if you have 3 people, only 3 people to support you, you're not going to get in. 4, you probably can consider get in or waitlist. So there is a group decision. It's compare only based on 1 school. Before they vote, your local representative will make a short speech for you. They use 3 or 4 minutes to introduce you. This is a person from Brown Science. He's head of robotic team. He's responsible. Then just 3 or 4 minutes. So that means all you have done in 4 years, 3 years, it will be compressed into a short description. They are going to vote for you, okay? So all the applicants are evaluated in the context of the 1 high school. So we are not going to be compared with the one in Stuyvesant or Brooklyn Tech. Like the students are comparing because you are offered the same condition, same amount of AP courses, same type of activity, and it depends how you perform. Yeah. Okay, so right now I have to talk a little bit, very important. And most of you're going through some emotional roller coaster during the application, especially early decision. Like everyone when they apply for early action, early decision, most likely it's your dream school. Everyone is looking for to join them, and earlier so that they are settled. And especially when your classmate accepted by other schools and you are not, it's easy to feel panic at that time. As a parent, we need to support our children because I would say at Brown Science, most students will get very good school at the end of April, like at the end of April, at the beginning of April starting, and at the end of April because they are going to accept from waiting list. So very important one, apply for at least one safety school in early action. So when during the Christmas time, at least there one school accept you. That will make you feel much better. And lots of students will feel panic. It's like other students have gone have been accepted by Cornell and have none. Don't worry, probably you are going to Yale later on, so don't worry. But at least one school accept you. That will make you much better, feel much better. Okay, based on early action, early decision to result, adjust your application strategy. Some people aim too high, or some people aim too low. You just adjust, okay? Some school you don't have to apply anymore because your early action is good enough already. So the journey is not over. Keep hard work to the end. And most students at Brown Science get accepted by regular decision. So early decision is still a small amount. So lots of effort. I know some students will cry and they don't know what to do, and especially they haven't finished their essay on time, and they just don't have to move. If you know you are a certain person, this kind of person, I want you to submit all the application before the Christmas, so you can cry during the holiday. Okay, next one. Okay, tunnel vision. When you get accepted, final result, I don't want you to have the tunnel vision, because for some students, only this school is my dream school, okay? If I cannot get in, that means I'm totally failure, which is not true, okay? So do not define the success of your high school career, just purely based on which school you finally get in. Be flexible. Any school on your school list will be a good one for you, okay? The best school is not the most famous one or most expensive one. It's one you feel comfortable. It's like a shoes. The college is a pair of shoes you're going to wear for 4 years. It might look shiny and nice to other people, but your toe will suffer, your toes will suffer in it. I don't want that to happen. I want you to feel happy, successful in your college years. And I would say from 2018 experience, most students, even they are not happy initially about their result, once they visit the school again, because they are asked to invited to accept, going to the accepted students event, by all school accept you. Okay, you are going to visit them, and sometimes you stay there for a couple days, one weekend, and eat there, and going to the class over there. It's a very good experience. Okay, and after that, most of the students are very happy about the result. That's the beauty of Brown Science. The Brown Science really prepared very well to get to college. And if you have multiple offers, it's very important to attend accepted student events. They give you orientation, they let you stay in the dorm, they let you to have food in cafeteria, they let you stay in the current students. And the current student will share a lot of their experience in their college, and which major you should consider, what kind of opportunity they have. Those of information you cannot get from information session or campus tour, but they let you all know that. Then before May 1st, you can make the final decision. Okay, waiting list. Many schools put long waiting list. I just back it up. And what happened if you are on the waiting list? Or what happened if you were deferred at early decision or early action? be sure you need to write we call letter of continued interest, LCI, okay? You have to indicate you still like that school. If you accept me, I'm going to your school for sure, okay? Especially when your case is deferred in the early action, early decision stage. And some people feel so upset and say, I don't want to consider this school anymore. No, at this moment you should write a letter, email to the admission officer. You are my top choice, okay? If I feel hurt, but I still want to go to your school. I try to update with my most current status. I probably, after review my mid-year report, you will change your mind. Please consider me. If you accept me, I 100% will go to your school. But don't send all our school, okay? You can only commit one. So just send school to say, I really want to go to your place. And like that's exactly what happened to one student in 2017. He likes MIT so much. So he was deferred initially, okay? Send a letter to MIT, say, if you accept me, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go. So later on, he was accepted by both Yale and MIT. He picked MIT, okay? Keep your promise. So, and you may get notified by admission office. So you are selected from waitlist. You got a chance to transfer into our full, like accepted. They usually give you 48 to 72 hours to make decision because they want to keep on moving, okay? They will not give you 1 month to consider. In that case, you probably will lose, you have to say yes to the new school and say no to the school you used to commit, but you lose your deposit. Usually when you commit one school, they ask you for like $500 or $1,000 deposit, you will lose that, okay? But you have a strong reason, say, because I accepted from waitlist. But don't overcommit on May 1st. You only can commit one school. And don't expect that I'm on the waitlist of 8 schools, so I don't commit right now. Hopefully one will transfer me put me off from the waitlist. Don't count on that. You need to commit one school, just in case, okay? So time management is the most important thing, okay? Don't delay to the last minute. And you need to prioritize your work on the first semester of senior. And especially people have the habit to doing all the activity because they need to put time for your college application, for sure. And keep good grades until the end, okay? The second semester senior symptoms, be careful of that. You can feel a little bit relaxed emotionally, but don't slow down your effort. And AP courses, you are not obligated to take AP exam in the second term. But if you can, still take it. Because some school will give you credit, or some school can treat it as your placement test. So still you need to work very hard to the end. And if you happen not happy with your school, I will say lots of schools have the chance to transfer. It's called the first year transfer. After you get in one college, if you could keep the good grade, you have a chance to transfer to a better school. So this is America. If you work hard, there's still some opportunity for you. Okay, I think it's taken a long time.